Good afternoon, all. Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So, I'll be starting with the actual syllabus. So, in the previous class, we just had an introduction of what is a real-time system. Then, the examples, what we have seen in the previous class, they are related to your day-to-day lives, like the mobile phone, the luxury car, etc., etc., etc. So, in detail, we'll be dealing about the things of real-time systems. Real-time systems are becoming pervasive. So we have the real-time systems everywhere. Typical examples of real-time systems include ATC. ATC stands for Air Traffic Control Systems, Network Multimedia Systems, Command Control Systems, etc. In a real-time system, the correctness of the system behavior depends upon depends upon the logical result of the computations, but also on the physical instant way at which these results are produced. The real-time system are classified from a number of viewpoints. As in the previous class, I just classified the real-time systems into two. One is a soft real-time system, the other is a hard real-time system. So there is a special emphasis is placed on hard and soft real-time systems. In soft real-time systems, a missed deadline is what to say, it is acceptable. Failures are acceptable. Whereas in case of hard real-time systems, the failures are not acceptable. Failures are not acceptable. So a missed deadline in hard real-time system is catastrophic, and in soft real-time system, it can lead to significant loss. Hence, predictability of system behavior is the most important concern in these systems. System should be predictable. Predictability is often achieved by either static or dynamic scheduling. So we have different types of scheduling strategies. Later, while discussing module 5, we'll be dealing in detail about the static or dynamic scheduling. Real-time systems span several domains of computer science. So we cannot limit the system as a purely electronic system or a purely coding system, etc., etc., etc. It has several span or several domains of computer science. They are defense and space systems, network multimedia systems, embedded automotive electronics. In a real-time system, the correctness of system behavior depends not only on the logical result of the computations, but also on the instant at which these results are produced. The real-time system changes its states as a function of physical time. Example, a chemical reaction continues to change its state even after controlling computer system has stopped. So now the computer has been employed in manufacturing a chemical production batch. So even after the control option operation of the computer is over, the chemical reaction continues. Both based on this, a real-time system can be decomposed into a set of subsystems. So now we can divide the real-time system into two classes. One is you require an operator to check that the things are working fine. Then we can have a real-time computer control system, which is interface between the controlled object and the operator. Now, the instant at which the result is produced is called a deadline. It's called a deadline. If the result has utility even after the deadline has passed, the deadline is classified as soft, otherwise it is firm deadline. So this can be viewed, this entire system can be viewed as the operator who is setting the set points, and this is the control object. So this can be viewed as a computer, actuator. This is the actuator and this is the controlled object. So sensor and actuators are very important here. Based upon the sensed data, the system is going to take the decision. Based on the computation of the sensor data, the system is going to compute the control set points. Then the directional arrows, you can see there is bidirectional link between an operator. Operator can talk to the real-time system or the computer, you can feed the inputs. Real-time computer system can give back the results to the operator. So this can be explained better with an example. The example is if we commute by JNC bus, right? So using that bus, we come to college. That was the scenario till COVID-19. The best example is we always love to stand on the stairs of the door. So bus usually has two doors, a rear entry door and a front entry door. So boys will usually stand on the rear entry door. Driver will tell you, don't stand there, come inside, get inside, get inside. But we have that affinity towards the steps. While this is the scenario, driver will instantly tell you about, please step inside, please go, don't stand there and all, but will never listen. So what he'll do, he'll press a button so that the door gets shut automatically. So there you can observe that the button is with the driver seat, that is the driver instrument panel. Then a small shaft is there which will open and the door of the bus is shut. So what I mean to say is, here the sensing operation is done by that button. As soon as the driver presses the button, the shaft opens and the door gets closed. So this can be related to a real-time system where the computer is acting as a control mechanism. The computer is acting as a control mechanism, and the actuation is performed by the actuator, causing the external environment to control. So this is about your example of a real-time system. The deadline is hard. Commands and control systems, air traffic control systems are examples for hard real-time systems. Online transaction systems, airline reservation systems are soft real-time systems. So your reservation systems, take an example of railway reservation system, or it can be the airplane ticket reservation system. Any ticket reservation system, usually it is a real-time system. How? If you book a seat, that is confirmed to you only if it is available. At the next moment, if anybody accessing the same system want to have the same seat, that should be flagged, because it is already reserved by you guys. That is why it should be a real-time system. As soon as a person books the ticket, that particular seat has to be flagged. Then if that flag is being set, that seat should not be shown as empty to the next consumer. This is about your two types of systems: hard real-time systems and soft real-time systems. So classification of real-time systems. Real-time systems can be classified from different perspectives. First two classifications: hard real-time versus soft real-time system. So these are the two things that is there in your syllabus. This is fail-safe versus fail operational is not in your syllabus. You have only hard real-time system and soft real-time system. So hard real-time systems versus soft real-time system, you can see here the response time. It is required. So the real-time hard real-time system should respond within the specified time limit. In soft real-time system, it can be you can just the failures can happen. The failures can happen. Peak load performance, it is predictable. It should be predictable. Hard real-time system. Whereas in soft real-time system, it is degraded. Control of pace. So here the hard real-time system will control the external environment, whereas soft real-time system will control the computer. Safety, yeah, it is often critical. In soft real-time system, it is non-critical. Size of data files, it is usually small or medium. It can have large data files. Redundancy type, it is active. Soft real-time system, checkpoint, recovery. Data integrity, it is short-term. Soft real-time, it is long-term. Error detection, it is autonomous, whereas soft real-time, it is user-assisted. So we'll go with one more notes that I'll just download here. Wait for a while. Yeah, you can see here. This is one typical example of a computer control system. First, we'll define an RTS. A real-time system is the one whose output is not only dependent on the input of the system, but also depends on the timeliness of the system. This is one type of definition. Or any system in which the time at which the output produces significant. This is usually because the input corresponds to some movement in the physical world, and the output has to relate to that some movement. The lag from input time to output time must be sufficiently small for acceptable timeliness. This is according to your Oxford Dictionary. This is the definition. Or one more type we can define. Real-time systems are those which produce correct responses within a definite time limit. Should computer responses exceed these time bounds, then performance degradation or malfunction may result. So we'll We can use any of this three type of definition. You have three definitions out of anyone to define an RTS. This is the basic question. Define RTS. Define RTS. Then, so we have one special type of program, RTP, real-time program. A normal program will never work in real-time systems. Why? Because in the normal programs we do not care about the timing. So we need a special type of program called as real-time program. A program for which the correctness of the operation depends both on the logical results of the computation and at which the results are produced. This is a definition of RTP, real-time program. So we have a fact here. All real-time systems are embedded systems, but all embedded systems are not real-time systems. So this is one point which we want to take care on this, take a note on this. All real-time systems are embedded systems, but all embedded systems are not real-time. So we have the examples of real-time systems. You have a car, a modern car carrying many real-time systems. A cobot, there is one robot. Domestic robot is an example of real-time system. A robotic arms which will perform welding, which will perform painting, etc. in many mega factories. This is an example of RTS. Combustion engine control is done by RTS. How much fuel has to go inside. Even in the medical field, you have real-time systems. So a robotic arm performing surgery. Surgeon will be in US and the patient will be in India. So remotely, by sitting in a remote place, one can control the surgery being done in US. The specialist is in US. He can do the surgery. Sitting in US by using real-time systems. So in many of the movies you'll be watching that. A robotic arm will be given to the doctor, and the patient will be in remote area. Thereby moving that joystick, he can perform the operation. This is also possible because of real-time system. So there are many things. So usually, if it is a real-time system, you have these things, block diagram. It's a computer, so software should be there. Available software, usually it is an RTOS, real-time operating system is there inside the computer. So then you can see here the mechanics or the physical environment which has to be controlled have the data via sensors. Sensors will sense the data and feed to the computer. The computer will do computation and send the signals to the actuators, and actuators will cause the things to work. This is of the few applications of RTS. Classification of real-time systems. So based upon the tasks, RTS are classified into three types: clock-based events, event-based tasks, clock-based tasks. They are cyclic and periodic. Next we have event-based tasks. They are aperiodic. The third we have interactive systems. So clock-based tasks, as the name itself indicates, clock. Clock means time. At 12:30 you have the class till 1:15 or 1:30. Likewise. So these are the clock-based tasks. They are cyclic in nature. They will be repetitive in nature. So you can see here the clock-based task, synchronization between the external process and the internal actions carried out by the computer may be defined in terms of passage of time or the actual time of the day, in which case the system is said to be clock-based system, or it may be defined in terms of events and the system is said to be event-based system. If the relationship between actions in the computer and the system is much more loosely defined, then the system is said to be interactive system. So for example, cyclic based task. You have an alarm in your phone. Alarm is an example of cyclic based task. At 4 o'clock in the morning, if you keep the alarm, at 4 o'clock it will exactly ring. It is cyclic in nature. The completion of the operations within a specified time is dependent upon the number of operations to be performed and the speed of the computer. So it means what? They are cyclic in nature and periodic. Synchronization is usually obtained by adding clock to the computer system and using a signal from this clock to interrupt the operation of the computer at predetermined fixed intervals. These are one class of real-time system. For example, is your alarm system. Alarm of your mobile is an example of cyclic clock-based task system. Next, we have event-based tasks. Event-based means something, if I trigger that event, then only the system will work. Actions are to be performed not at particular times or time intervals, but in response to some event. If some event occurs, then only the system will work. For example, your fire alarm system. If there is a fire happening in the vicinity, then the fire sensor, if it is placed inside the building, that will sense the smoke and it will indicate that an alarm will go. It is event based. System is idle. If there is no smoke or fire, the system is idle. It will be continuously monitoring the fire sensor. Now the fire has happened, event has happened. We don't know when that fire will happen. Events occur at non-deterministic intervals. We cannot predict that when the event will occur. Event occurs at non-deterministic intervals and event-based tasks are referred to as aperiodic tasks. Third, we have interactive systems. They represent the largest class of RTS, such as automatic bank tellers, reservation system for hotels, airlines, and car rental, etc. The real-time requirement is usually expressed in terms of such as the average response time must not exceed some predetermined time. Example, an automatic bank teller system might require an average response time not exceeding 20 seconds. So interactive means the system will speak to you. For example, you go to the ATM, you insert the card. As soon as you insert the card, if the card is fine, it will allow you to bank. That is interaction. There will be interaction. So based upon the events, we can classify RTS into three classes: clock-based, event-based, and interactive systems. I guess we'll stop here at this point of time. If any doubts are there, I'll unmute. You can unmute and ask.